Is college worth it? What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Trey, and I'm back with some more game for y'all today. Is going to college worth it? Now, this is a question that at some point, I know that every single college student has thought. Whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, whether you're at a state college, a private school, or community college, whether you are undergrad, grad school, going for your PhD, whatever it is, everybody at some point has thought, is this even worth it? So in today's video, I'm going to answer the question, is college worth it? And before I go any further, I want to state that this is obviously my personal opinion based off of my personal experiences and pretty much everything that I've learned along the way of being in college and all the obstacles that I have personally faced. So you can agree, you can disagree. It honestly doesn't really make too much of a difference to me. However, I do ask that if you decide to leave a comment, just keep it respectful. So with all that out the way, let's talk about it. So, is college worth it? Well, I believe that depends on what you consider it to be. It is what you will have to continuously endure during your time studying at a university. It can be the financial cost of attending a college, whether that be community college, state school, private school, whatever it is. It can also be the amount of time that you have to put into going to school. It can be the stress that you're under while you're studying for tests and you're really trying to commit yourself to something that you're reaching to do. It can even be the emotional uncertainty of stepping outside your comfort zone, physically or figuratively, because you may have to move to a different city like I did, or move to a different state, or depending on where you go to school, maybe even country. But first, let's focus on the financial side of going to college. Now, when you are in college, some financial things and limitations that you may have to deal with while you're a full-time college student is having to take out student loans, having to pay payment plans, having to struggle and not really have that much money because you don't really have the time to work a full-time job. So if the financial side of it is really the thing that you have to endure the most when going to college, I would say that the answer of whether it's worth it or not really depends on the requirements of your career field. Whatever it is you are pursuing to do, whether it's being a lawyer or a doctor or a pro athlete or a DJ or a manager at a grocery store or a firefighter, whatever the case may be, you're either going to fall into scenario A, where your career path requires some form of college education and a college degree, or you fall into scenario B, where the career path that you would like to pursue doesn't necessarily require a certain college degree for you to attain that. If a degree is required for you to be able to start working in that career field, then yes, college is 100% worth it because you need to do it to get where you want to go. However, if a formal college degree is not required for you to make it into your career field, then I don't think that college and attending a university and spending that amount of money is really worth it. In the scenario that your chosen career path doesn't require a formal college education, I don't really believe that it's worth it to attend a university and to take out loans and go through that whole financial burden that you have to when attending a university, because there's a pretty high chance that the people who are at the top of whatever your career field is probably know a lot more about being successful in that than most college professors. Now, this is no shot at college professors. It's just that college professors are there to help guide you and help you attain that information so that you know your stuff, so you can go out into the workforce and get a job. And even if you have a college professor that you don't like and that you don't feel like you learn that well from, or you consider them a bad professor, that professor knows what he's talking about, he or she is talking about, otherwise they wouldn't be teaching you. But I just personally feel like you can learn a lot more from people who's actually currently doing it right now, and it'll cost you a lot less money. It's 2022, and in today's age, you can learn and be educated and gain experience in 1,000 different ways. You can learn from watching interviews, watching podcasts, watching presentations, reading books about this stuff. You can learn from taking up and paying for an online class that's specified to that exact thing that you want to learn, instead of going to a university and spending all this money and your first year and a half you're only taking gen ed classes that has nothing to do with what you want to do. One of the best ways to learn and not have to go to college is by seeking a mentor who's already a professional in that field or knows a lot about it and is willing to teach you for free. And if none of those options are available, I promise you, there is no shortage of people who are willing to let you work for them for free. And in exchange, they take you under their wing, and then they can teach you some of this stuff without you having to pay them for it, because you're providing a service right back to them. This is called interning. Now, if the thing that you're worried about enduring the most is sacrificing a great amount of your time towards pursuing a degree, then the answer to the question that is if college is worth it in that regard would really depend on how successful you would like to be in your field. Now, from my experience, college tends to be one of those things that more often than not, you get out what you put in. Nowadays, you hear so much about these people like, for example, Mr. Beast, who didn't go to college or went for a little bit and dropped out. And then they worked hard on whatever they were doing, and now they're millionaires. And that's great. That's very inspiring. But for the average person who doesn't go to college and your highest form of official education is a high school diploma, you're looking at a 9-to-5 hourly wage job. So I'm gonna give to you sort of the tiers of time commitment to college. Now, if you don't want to commit to attending a 4-year university, just do as I did and start off going to a community college. It takes about 2 years to receive your associate's degree, and depending on what you go for and what the market is looking like, that will roughly get you an entry-level position hourly with whatever you want to do, whatever career path that you choose to follow. But like I said in the beginning of the video, these aren't facts, but I'm giving you pretty good estimate of what you're looking at. But like I said, it depends on what you're going for, what the market's like, what your skills are looking like. If you can push through 2 to 3 more years of college and attain that bachelor's degree like I did, you're roughly looking at entry level to intermediate level of entry at a salary based job, and you'll be able to work your way up and everything like that and really show the skills you got. And your pay will probably depend on what career choice you chose to do and what the market is looking like. If you decide that you want to earn a little bit more money and a little bit better of a status job, and you want to push through a couple more years of school and obtain that master's degree, I feel like in most business settings, you should be able to get a pretty good salary paying job with a master's degree. But if you want to be at the top level of the market in any type of career involving the medical field or any type of like rigorous field that they really put you through the ringer to make sure you know your stuff, then you're probably looking at having to go obtain that PhD. Point is, regardless of what you want to do, whether you go to college or not, regardless of all of that, anything that's worth doing is going to take you to invest a lot of time into it. So in the case of going to college and investing a lot of your 20s, if not most of your 20s, into obtaining that degree so that you can go do what you want, I would say it's worth it. But it's only worth it if you are genuinely passionate about what you're doing. And I don't mean just being passionate about the status of that career or being passionate about the money that it pays. But if you genuinely are passionate about what you're doing and you love it, it's going to be worth it. Lastly, I'd like to address the ideal that you should go to college to find yourself. Now, college is a explorative place, but you should not be going to college with the primary purpose of finding yourself. Don't get me wrong, through your college experience, you're gonna learn a ton about yourself, but I feel like you can also learn about yourself through a number of ways that don't require you to commit and invest so much financially into it, because you may end up making it through a few years of college and you can determine that college really isn't required for you to accomplish your goals. Or you might just end up deciding that college just isn't for you. But at that point, you've already invested tens of thousands of dollars into going to college, and then that turned out to be something that's not even truly fulfilling you. And I don't say that to discourage you or to make you scared to go to college or to make you feel like you have to go to college, but I'm telling you this because I wish I had somebody there to tell me this isn't the only option, or you shouldn't be doing this just for this purpose. If you're going to go to college, it should be for more reasons than how much money you want to make or finding yourself or even just having a good time. It should be a well thought out process that may have to take some adjusting in. You may change your mind on what you want to do, but everything you should do should have a reason behind it because you're investing so much into it. In conclusion, college can be something that can provide a fantastic return on investment depending on the area that you're going into, depending on what the market is like by the time you graduate, and really depending on what skills you pick up along the way while you're in college. But if it's something that you throw yourself into due to peer pressure or your parents telling you have to go to college and your friends are all going to college, so I must have to go to college, and you don't really have a plan or even something that you're passionate about that you really want to pursue, then it might turn out to be a nightmare. So think it through and don't let it just be a decision that you make out of the blue or when you're very excited about something or fearful of something else. Make it be a decision that you take your time to make because you're shaping your future. Alright, that's it for me today. Thank you guys who made it all the way through the video. I know this was a longer video, but I really wanted to take my time and make this because if you're considering going to college, this is going to be a very important decision for you guys, and I really want you guys to put yourself in the best position that you can. If you have any more questions for me about how college is once you're here and what you should look out for, comment and maybe I might answer it. Or maybe I even might make a more specific video about something that you have a question about. So just comment down below and let me know. Like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. All that YouTube jazz. But I just want you guys to know that I'm trying to look out for you guys, and I want to see you do great. And until next time, remember, always get 1% better every single day. Peace.